I'm gonna ask you all a question. What do you think about the music? Did you love the music from DJ Shiloh? Thank you, DJ Shiloh. Thank you so much for creating this good vibes with that amazing music. I saw a lot of people dancing, so I'm sure they enjoyed the music. So thank you, DJ Shiloh. And by the way, if you folks don't know about much about DJ Shiloh, do you mind coming, just sharing your Instagram, how people can connect with you if they want you to perform at their event? I want to let you all know that DJ Shiloh actually performed at Sunday in the Park. Sunday in the Park. And I'm also going to invite my friend Humera to talk about the Catering Collective and how they can connect with the Catering Collective, okay? I'm giving you time, Humera. Okay, DJ Shiloh, ready?
Hi guys, my name is Shiloh and my DJ name is DJ Shy So Fly. So if you wanted to follow me on anything, I'm on SoundCloud where I post my mixes, but my Instagram is DJ_Shy So Fly, SHYSOFLY. And yeah, that'll also be my email. So if you're ever interested in any events, I'm more than open to DJ for them. Well, yeah, thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We all enjoyed it. Catering Collective, anyone wants to say anything? You want to start? Come. There you go.
Hi everyone, my name is Humera and I'm actually going to correct Waleed. It's not the Catering Collective, it is the Regent Park Cafe Project. So I am the Regent Park Cafe Project Coordinator, and we are going to be opening up the cafe project for the next 3 months, and there is a launch date to be announced, and we just have a bunch of entrepreneurs from the community who are going to be selling food here in Daniel Spectrum. So we'd love it if you come out and support, and launch date to be announced. So we are going to be open Monday to Friday, 5 days a week, and that is subject to some events that take place in Daniel Spectrum and throughout the community living room, but we are hoping to be open 5 days a week. Amazing. Thank you.
I'm glad to be corrected. It's the Regent Park Cafe. Please mark it on your calendar. Show up Monday to Friday during operation hours and support our local enterprises and the amazing folks who are making this happen. So now I'm going to pass on the mic to Marlene, who's going to start us off.
Hi, thanks very much, and welcome to everyone. We have quite a turnout tonight, which is great to see. I want to introduce, first of all, I'm Marlene DeGeneva, and I represent market residents in this neighborhood. But I'd like to also, we have 3 new co-chairs this time round. So first of all, on my left is Inez Garcia, who is representing the TCHC residents. On my right, we have Wally Kogali Ali, who represents also the TCHC residents, and Leah Caterberg, who is representing the EED network. So again, thank you so much for coming, and we'll get started right now.
Awesome. So we're going to do a land acknowledgement. I'm going to pass this on to Inez.
I acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississauga of the Credits. So you do after the ones after I do mine, right? So I'm just going to do the knowledge of indigenous from Ecuador. I'll do it in Spanish and then in English. Principales retos de los pueblos indígenas de Ecuador. Las políticas públicas que aseguran automáticamente a las garantías completas de los derechos de los pueblos indígenas en Ecuador, particularmente las civiles y políticas culturales y territoriales no han mejorado. Un problema clave para los pueblos guaraní gira en torno a la persistente promoción de Estado para la explotación del petróleo en territorios conocidos, como la Reserva Guarani y el Parque Nacional Yasuni. Hay también una presencia agresiva de la minería a gran escala en territorio Shuar. I'm going to do it in English now. Main challenges of Ecuador indigenous peoples, the public policies ensuring automatic or full guarantees of indigenous rights in Ecuador, particularly civil and political culture and territorial generally have not improved. A key problem for Guarani peoples resolved around the state's persistent promotion of exploitation of oil on their territories. Known as the Guarani Reserve and Usani National Park, there is also aggressive presence of large-scale mining on the Shuar territory. 4 events directly affected the living conditions and economic and social rights of Ecuador, indigenous peoples and nationalities. In 2020, the aftermath of the great popular protest of October 2019, the unleashed of the COVID-19 pandemic, that rupture of the main oil pipeline and subsequent oil spill, the political disputes surrounding the 2021 presidential and congressional elections. So that it was when 2019, there was, when there was even here the indigenous, the people over there, when they the ones who sell their vegetables and stuff, the government was taking their vegetables at a low price, and then they were selling it to the people at a higher price. So there was a lot of the way they were treated, and they're still fighting for their land, like anywhere else of the indigenous. Thank you.
Thank you, Ines. I'm going to quickly read out the African Ancestral Acknowledgement, and I'll just make quick announcements. So the City of Toronto acknowledges all treaty peoples, including those who came here as settlers, as migrants, either in this generation or in the generation past, and those of us who came here involuntarily, particularly those brought to this lands as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. We pay tribute to those ancestors of African origin and descent. I just want to remind everyone that this meeting will be recorded, and all audience members who ask questions will also be recorded. So if you strongly oppose being recorded, please let us know, and we'll make sure our friends from Regent Park TV get the message. I'm now going to pass it on to Leah to speak about the introduction to the SDP.
Thanks, Waleed. It's really good to hear multiple land acknowledgements. It's just a reminder how important it is to acknowledge the history of any place, regardless of the country. Every land has its history with multiple people groups inhabiting, so thank you for those. I want to give a bit of a history of the SDP before we get started, because it's been a few months since we've had a meeting, and it'll be helpful just to remind ourselves of why we're all here tonight. And so some of you were around way back in 2007 when this all started. The SDP, the Social Development Plan, was started to go alongside the physical redevelopment that was taking place here in Regent Park. And the goal was that the revitalization could take place in a way that builds the community in a socially cohesive way. And so out of that, 75 recommendations came, which led to a 2019 refresh. So while those recommendations were being followed, it was recognized that a bit of a restructure of the SDP would be helpful, and so that happened in 2019. And the refresh consists of 4 priority areas. We're going to hear from all of them tonight. They are safety, employment and economic development, community building, and communication. And part of the refresh was a structure that includes all of us, the Stakeholders Table, and we meet quarterly, and we hear updates from all of these 4 areas, as well as some of the committees. There's working groups for these 4 areas, and people are more than welcome to join any of those working groups. So let us know if you're interested. Just invite everyone to sit back and listen to all of the updates. We've got a really packed agenda. So without further ado, let's dig in. I'll pass it back to Waleed.
Thank you, Leah. Thank you so much for that background. So this is a quarterly meeting that we have of residents because you ultimately decide what happens in our community. So I want to let you folks know that there are going to be items for discussion and decision. And our goal as the Social Development Plan Stakeholders Table is to make sure residents from all backgrounds, whether you're a TCHC resident, whether you're a market resident, whether you're an agency, whether you're involved in a grassroots organization, we all come together to promote our central goal, which is social cohesion and inclusion. I'm saying it slowly because you might win a raffle prize if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm planting some knowledge for people to just digest. So social cohesion and inclusion is our goal. Okay, so I want to make sure everyone knows that. Now I'm going to quickly go through the voting process. What we do is we try to make decisions based on consensus, right? So, what we do is we put forward proposals. If everyone likes it, that's great. We've made a decision based on consensus. But sometimes the discussions might be difficult and we might need to make a decision. So we have an actual voting process, which is defined in our terms of reference for the social development plan that I'm going to quickly go through. So if we have not reached consensus, like I said earlier, what we'll do is one vote for each co-chair, 3 votes for each working group, 1 vote per additional resident or grassroots group. And the working groups and committees are community building, safety, communications. So we have various committees like the funding committee, so I don't want to go through all of those committees, but 1 vote for each resident is what you need to remember. And what we need to do is have a double majority, right? So the way it works is we need to have a majority of residents as well as a majority of folks in attendance for us to make a decision, okay? Which makes it more important to build consensus on the proposals that we want to adopt, okay? So thank you for that. We're now gonna move on to the presentation. I'm gonna invite Joel Klassen to start us off, and it's, my goodness, it's 5:59, so 1 minute before 6, so we're on time. So Joel, you're gonna get us started on the SDP, Shaping SDP Culture Guidelines. We're gonna do it together now.
So thanks everybody for coming out, and this item that we're going to talk about right now is the item that we're going to have ask people to make a decision on. So some time ago we decided that we needed to work pretty intentionally on how we work with each other, how we work in meetings, how we work when there's conflict between people, when things get difficult, and so a group of us developed some documents that we're going to present to you tonight, very sort of high level, and we're going to suggest to you a way that we can go through this, how we work with these documents. So the one that we wanted to focus on the most today was the intro to the Social Development Plan guidelines. So I am just going to call that up here. Oh yeah. Can I use that? Oh yeah, and so those of you who have the magazine, those documents are all in here. Page 10 is the first one. Then there's meeting guidelines, the conflict resolution process, and a document called mutual accountability. So what we thought we'd do is just go through this, the first one. This is the overarching kind of introduction, and it kind of explains to you what we're doing with this and what we're proposing. So as members of the SDP, we aim to create a welcoming, inclusive network where we each take responsibility for our own actions. where we are mutually accountable to each other and the network as a whole, and where we seek to understand and collaborate with each other even when we disagree. We agree to follow these guidelines to keep our network welcoming and inclusive. We're committed to working together in a way that does not cause harm to one another or to our community. Most of us are members of equity-seeking groups. We recognize that we bring our life experiences to our work, which for many of us includes experiences of trauma. Each of us has the power to speak our truth in a way that shows care and respect for others, including respect for the many differences among us. This includes considering how our actions and words might oppress others. We are accountable to ourselves and to each other. So first, self-accountability. It can be hard to see yourself. When you have an issue with another person or when someone has an issue with you, consider whether you may have contributed to the issue. Are there any changes you can make within yourself? And then mutual accountability. If a person brings a concern to you, be open to hearing it and responding from an open stance. As a network, we'll continue to equip each other to hold productive meetings, to better deal with conflict, and to be self and mutually accountable beyond this guide. We'll share resources, trainings, and we'll share ongoing reflection on our experiences.
Okay, so this is the fun part of the meeting. You'll get it later, I hope. Okay, ready? Okay, 3 documents make up this guidelines. The meeting guidelines, the conflict resolution process, and mutual accountability. This package that you have in front of you complements and is in alignment with the SDP terms of reference.
Oh yeah, I forgot. A friend of mine is in a band and wants to perform at Regent Park this year.
Oh, thank you, Deanie, for mentioning that there's someone you know that's interested in performing at Sunday in the Park. Okay, thank you, Deanie, for that. I'll make sure that that point is raised by our new co-chair for community building, Ferdosa. I don't know if Ferdosa is with us, but I'll make sure that she gets that message. Very important. Okay,
Okay, so hold on. Hold on. This needs to stop. This is happening all the time. Why is she interrupting in the middle of a meeting?
I don't think Deanie meant to interrupt, you know.
No, Dini, you need to raise your hand first before you start speaking. No, you need to raise your hand. I'm sorry. We're going through this all the time, and it needs to stop. It needs to stop. No, it needs to stop. I'm sorry.
Okay, my friends. Thank you so much for going back and forth. My friends, that, by the way, that was a role play. I know some of you fell for it. So it's okay to admit you fell for it, but it was a role play. What we're trying to do is we're trying to emphasize that the meeting guidelines are for all members to follow so that meetings flow smoothly with active discussion, respectful disagreement, and clear decisions. We also want to make sure that people are aware that there's a conflict resolution process that sets out how members are to engage constructively with each other when in conflict. We also want to make sure that you're aware there's a mutual accountability document that outlines how we will respond when meeting guidelines aren't followed, and in particular when the violation of the meeting guidelines is serious. We mean to use this document as a last resort, using the first 2 documents as the preferred guides for dealing with difficult situations. So this has been due to the amazing work convened by Joel. Thank you, Joel, Ines, Michael, Deanie, Sarah Jane, who actually is having such a good time with the kids upstairs. She decided not to come downstairs. I tried begging her, trust me. So this was the great work of residents and Amal and Verda from Project ARAP at the Regent Park Community Health Center. So shout out to them for their contribution through their knowledge and research and recommendations. So this has been an accomplishment. So I'm going to pass it back to Joel for the proposal.
Yeah, could we go to the next slide, please? So this is our proposal for tonight. So these guidelines, there's a fair bit to them. And we want to introduce them to you so you have time to actually work with them and understand them and see, what they mean to you and whether they work for you. So we want to propose that we use them for the next 3 or 4 months, and that as we use them, we're going to have mechanisms for getting your responses, your feedback about, this works, this doesn't work. And so what we're hoping is that people will be willing to try that out for the next 3 or 4 months. And then when we gather all the feedback from you, then we'll revise them, and we'll end up with a final document that we'll present again to the community and see if we can get approval for it. And if so, just to the next slide again. So this is, I don't know if maybe that's a little bit small, the text, but basically this is a plan for how we're going to do it. And the main idea is to have we're going to have a joint training session for everybody who wants to join in January. And so we'll go through the documents more in depth at that time. And if people want more background as well, more trainings, and we expect that there will be more interest, we'll do some more workshops again for people to be able to understand all the different parts of what we're proposing. And then after that's done, we'll take all the feedback that people give us, and we'll revise what we have, and we'll bring it back again to the group. So that's the idea. Again, the impetus for this came out of we realized we need to have stuff that we all agree on. This is what we agree is how we're going to do our work, so that we don't have sort of different ideas. Oh no, this is the way we should do it. No, that's the way we should do it, right? So that the idea is to help to work through the kinds of things that can come up. So, so let's go, if you go back to the previous slide again. So this is the decision that we're proposing to people.
Okay, folks, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Sasha from MPP Christine Wong-Tam's office, who was here. I think she's just stepped out for a bit, but just wanted to make sure acknowledged we have someone from office. So the proposal is that the SDP network test this shaping SDP culture guideline documents for a trial period of 3 to 4 months. So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss this proposal, and we're going to hopefully build consensus towards moving forward. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to open it to residents and stakeholders who would like to speak to this item. So would like to speak to the item? Yes, and by the way, if you don't have a copy of Catch the Flavor, let me know, but all 3 documents are in the Catch the Flavor. So you can refer to that as a guide. Yes. Anyone like to speak? Michael? Okay, we have Michael, our first speaker.
So, there were different ideas about what the best way to make an organization run more smoothly. So when we try to implement this, different people are going to focus on different parts of it. And there will be things that some people think really work well and are the best methods to use when there's disagreements or disputes, and other people will think that maybe that's not the best way, it should be something else. So the document kind of represents, in a way, a compromise or a compilation of different ideas. So a lot is going to depend on when something actually happens, which piece of the document do people try to use to solve it. And there will still be disagreements. Even though we've got a document, there will still be disagreements as to how that should happen. And hopefully we can do it in a way that does not escalate or make people feel that they can solve a problem by exercising power. And if we can use the parts of the document that are conciliatory and solve those problems as much as possible, hopefully this will work out.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for that assessment. I really appreciate it. And Michael, imagine this is all volunteer work. Michael spent many hours with other residents to help inform this document. So thank you, Michael, for your dedication. Who'd like to speak on this proposal? Okay. So I would like to move the proposal. I'm just going to ask, does someone else want to second it? Who else is in support of this? So we could, move forward. Are folks in favor? Okay, we got Ilona in the back who's in favor. Okay, it seems like a lot of folks are supportive. So I'm going to test for consensus. Okay? So the first question I'm going to ask is, anyone opposed to this proposal? Okay. The second is Ilona. Ilona, okay? So I don't see anyone in opposition. So my friends, I am going to look at my co-chairs. It seems we have consensus. Is that okay, co-chairs? Yeah? Okay, we have approved the guidelines as recommended through consensus. Thank you, everyone. Clap. Come on, congratulations. Great work. Thank you, Joel. Okay, so we're now going to move on to the next item. Okay, we're going to move on to the next item, which is a report back from one of our important working groups and committees. So it's the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group. So I'm going to invite Teresa and Isha to speak to this item. Thank you. And this is just for information, my friends. Okay?
Thank you. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Aisha and I work with the Revitalization Engagement Team in Regent Park. A big chunk of my work is supporting community benefits. So that's CBOG, the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group, and the Community Benefits Agreement. And I'm here with
Oh, I like this. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Teresa. I'm the Revitalization Engagement Manager, and I work with Aisha, and I see a lot of CBOG members here as well. So lots of familiar faces, but also lots of new spaces. So look forward to catching up with everyone about the work you're doing or how you're getting on with the community as well. So.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to the next slide. The last time you would have seen a report on CBOG was probably really your first introduction to the work of the group, and that was at the May Stakeholders Table meeting. And like Teresa said, many folks are here in the room, maybe folks who've been on the working group or are subject matter experts. If you want to just wave and say hello. Okay, we've got someone in the back. Yeah, Walid, yeah. So basically, the CBOG was formed last year, and their main objective was to co-design an engagement process to find out from the community how the $26.8 million from Tridel should be invested in the community. And when we came in May, we had just launched the engagement process to answer that big question, how should the funds be allocated? And that was our listening to community phase. So that's what we're working on now. Since then, we have wrapped up our listening to community phase, where we went door to door, supported by our animators, supported by CBOG members, and we administered a community survey, which asked questions about the priorities that folks had in the community. It asked folks what importance they might place on 3 buckets. So we've decided that the funds will be structured in terms of 3 buckets, but within those buckets, how should the funds be invested? So hopefully there's folks here who've seen that survey. And we want to thank the community for giving 1,064 responses. Which we obtained through over 1,700 touch points. So that's times when we spoke to folks in the community. That's when folks emailed us. We spoke to people at events. That includes the surveys. And out of that 1,064, 80 to almost 83% were TCHC tenants. So that's a huge number, huge number. And then also we heard 15%, almost 16% from private market residents. So we'll go to the next slide. So we spent our second phase of the engagement process, which is 3 phases with a couple sub-phases in between, supported by our subject matter experts. Shout out to YSM for helping us with the sense making, because we had to take all of that information and go through it and see what community was really saying and what their priorities were. So if you can see, I hope you can read at the back, we identified, this is CBOG facilitated by the YSM, also TCHC and Tridel took part in it, employment, training, youth programs, scholarships and bursaries, and community space were the top priorities that were identified through the community survey. Also feedback and various conversations that we had throughout that first engagement phase. So based on all of that feedback that was analyzed, CBOG provided recommendations, really recording what the community wanted funds to be invested in. So we came up with several packages through a co-design, and those packages are ways in which the funds can be invested. So far in that process, we have come up with 4 areas in addition to employment and training, for ways in which the funds can be invested. So outfitting and operation of community space is something that you will see more on. Scholarships for all ages, business development support and social procurement, and support for local initiatives, including community safety and youth programs. So actually, if on the previous slide, those are things that specifically were identified for bucket 2. I should have mentioned earlier the community benefits funds, although I did mention, but the 3 buckets are employment, major investments, which we wanted to hear more from the community on what the specific investments would be. And then the 3rd bucket is ongoing local granting, which would be determined through a participatory spending process, like participatory budgeting over the duration of the revitalization. So that would be grants that go to organizations and grassroots groups in the community. Okay, anything to add? We can move to what we're doing right now. So CBOG is working internally to develop a community voting process, which is our 3rd phase of the engagement process to determine how the funds will be invested. And we are developing a process through which Regent Park residents, both TCHC tenants and non-TCHC tenants, so private market residents, will actually be able to choose between 3 different community benefits packages and cast a vote. And then that is going to select the package which will be incorporated into a community benefits agreement between TCHC and Tridel, which they're both legally bound to deliver on. And then CBOG will monitor the progress of fulfilling those commitments over the duration of the revitalization. Yep, lastly, yep. So maybe just the last slide. Yes, very quickly. So there are 20 resident membership seats on CBOG. 18 are currently filled. 18 are currently filled. It's an equal split between TCHC tenants living in Regent Park and private market residents. So we currently have 1 seat available for an equity deserving market resident and 1 seat available for a TCHC youth ages 17 to 29 years. So if you are interested or you would like to learn more about community benefits, please come and talk to us or any of the CBOG members you see here. We do have flyers because there are some expectations for what your work on the working group would involve. Otherwise, there are a couple links, I believe, on the next slide for the rp4and5.ca website where you can read all about what's happening with the revitalization. Also, Tridel's Community Works website where jobs that are open to TCHC tenants specifically and equity deserving market residents are posted, and then myself and Teresa's contact info.
Thank you, Isha, and thank you, Teresa, for that presentation. I just want to acknowledge we have Richard Kerwin, who joined us from the City of Toronto. Welcome, Richard, just for the minutes. Okay, we have questions. So whoever has questions, I'm going to pass on the mic. You can ask your questions.
So what is the difference between the CBA and the SDP? Because it seems to be a lot of overlap between the two. Is SDP going to, is that what we're trying to fund through the CBA? Could you explain to me how that could work?
Okay, Adonis has a quick answer for you.
Not a quick answer, but there's a good summary of the SDP Stakeholders Table in which all the committees and working groups are there. So it shows where it's structured, where the CBOWG, Community Benefits Oversight Working Group, is structured as part of the SDP Stakeholders Table. It's a visual that's on page 6, but
Perfect, Adonis. So yeah, we're gonna get Teresa to respond to that, but I just want to remind everyone that you need to have background information on what is the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group, okay? So if you have a phone, you can Google 2 documents, something called the Community Benefits Framework. So you can write that down. I see people with their pen trying to write stuff down. That's good. Community Benefits Framework. And that's an agreement signed between Toronto Community Housing and RPNA. That's a foundational document. That's how CBOG came from. Then you want to read something else. It's called the Terms of Reference, right? You know how we have the SDP, it has a Terms of Reference? The CBOG has its own Terms of Reference. So you want to look up the Terms of Reference for the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group. Because in those documents, you will see the process by which we come up to something called a Community Benefits Agreement. So I'm gonna pass the mic to Teresa to respond specifically your question, and I heard it clearly.
Thanks. I think I might try and project. I'm not very good with microphones, so I hope everyone can hear me. So the Terms of Reference is actually not a public document. We haven't actually discussed how we share this with the rest of the community. However, all of the steps within the Community Benefits Agreement and how we actually reach the end point is outlined within the rp4and5.ca website. So it talks specifically about what's happened in the past, where we are, and what the next steps are. So I think that's a good place to start. There's a section for frequently asked questions. So if you don't find the answer there, definitely contact us. There's a contact us form on that website as well if you're not sure about how to reach out to us. In terms of your question around how is the CBA different from the SDP? So the Community Benefits Agreement encompasses a number of priorities that have been identified by the community already through that survey. And so some of that includes physical investment into physical spaces, like the community space, investment into businesses, training, employment opportunities that Tridel, as our developer partner for phases 4 and 5, has the obligation to fulfill. Where the SDP comes in is when we start talking about the participatory budgeting process around, what are the things that the community would like to see funded. And so what we hope to do is develop a process with the community around how that process actually happens. So we need a process for the process. But some of the priorities that might come from residents would likely be falling within the principles of the SDP. So, for example, I'll be very quick. For example, things like safety initiatives and youth programs. Those are things that the SDP working groups are already engaged in and working on. And it's just a matter of taking this further and seeing what else is there that we need to help support. But that would really be something that comes from the ground up.
So it's like a funding mechanism or a way to create a funding regimen for the money, for the $26.8 million. Gotcha. Okay.
The last bucket, which is the community granting process. the other categories like employment, social procurement, employment, social procurement, investment in community space, that is possibly a little bit more straightforward. And once we're going through the voting process, we'll actually hold some learning information sessions to really help people in the community understand what those categories are, how they were determined, what does it mean with each package and each investment, because the amounts will be different. So we'll support people through that process so they can make an informed decision within their vote.
Thank you, Teresa. So I just want you folks to remember some important points. One, CBOG, which we had a presentation about, is one of the committees of the SDP. So structurally, it's connected to the social development plan, point one. Point two, we're going through a process by which we're engaging the community, because at the end of the day, the final decision on the allocation of the 26.8 million community benefit dollars that we all fought for as a community, right? We said we wanted to make sure these investments are made in our community the way we want it, not through closed meetings behind, between developers and other folks and the community not being involved. And I just want to just acknowledge one important thing. We had a lot of people participate in our community. Over 1,000 surveys that were collected. And with your help, when the community benefit packages are developed by CBOG, by residents like you who are on CBOG, we will have the final allocations that are going to inform something called a community benefits agreement, which is what you asked about. So the community benefits agreement is sort of the document that's going to bind the parties that are involved, and there'll be a public declaration to what those commitments look like. What are those investments going to look like? So that you are informed, but we also can work together as a community to prepare our neighbors, to prepare each other for those investments when they are available, okay? So we have about 5 more minutes for questions in case someone, yep, Leonard?
Thanks, my name is Leonard. A quick question, $26.8 million. That's an amazing amount of money. Congratulations to people who negotiated that amount. That works out to roughly $4,000 cash for each and every resident of Regent Park. 4,000 bucks. I'm wondering if we could take the money and skip the middle people. But maybe on a more serious note, because I know some is going to physical infrastructure, but of that money, how much has already been spent, for example, on this survey? And what kind of oversight is being provided to the oversight body in terms of accountability, taking responsibility, and keeping watch on the books?
So I'm going to pass it on to Teresa for a quick response.
Thanks. I'll keep projecting. I hope everyone can hear me at the back. Was it the nosebleeds? Is it? Okay. Sorry, you do. Okay, sorry. Sorry, people over Zoom. I apologize. I appreciate my voice doesn't extend into the beyond, so I do apologize. So, Leonard, to answer your question, we, as TCHC and Tridel, have allocated up to 2% of money being available since the beginning of this process, so over 2 years ago. And that includes several key investment categories that were identified by the Community Priorities Report that is one of our foundational documents. So that is employment and training opportunities, social procurement, and community grants. So I think some of you are already somewhat familiar with how some of that money has been allocated through the Summer Series program that Artscape ran last year. We were able to fund a bunch of community events like Sunday in the Park. Through that, there was a whole public application process, happy to chat and give more details around that. So we also have a quarterly report that tracks employment and wages and how many people have been employed, and that is shared with our Community Benefits Oversight Working Group. And in addition to that, we track every single dollar and cent because we as TCHC actually hold our developer accountable for how that money is being spent. So everything has to have receipts, everything has to have documentation. So no cent goes without our oversight into it. And we are... Yeah, in addition to that, we obviously have operational budget from TCHC that supports the work of the working group. TCHC also have its own budget that we invest in various community initiatives and support of programs. So if you're running a program and you need some support, please reach out to us. Happy to do what we can to get your project off the ground.
So, Leonard,
sorry,
there's one more
just
question
really
on
quickly.
Zoom.
Yeah, there's one more question.
Okay.
I'm going to ask the attendee on Zoom to unmute yourself and just say your question, please.
Yeah, I think this is not a question, it's actually a comment. And I think, you know, we struggled to get those 1,000 residents. We struggled, we had to delay. So I would really say for everyone that is in the room and anyone who's listening who's a resident, that when that opportunity comes for you to vote on this, that you do show up and you tell your neighbors, right? This would be that you need to put your voice to the table and not thinking that that's not what I wanted for my community. So all I'm simply saying is don't let us struggle to get 1,000 plus people or how many other people we need to vote, and that we all show up and lend our voice to the process to make our community what we want it to be.
I think that was a comment, but do you mean repeating that?
So Gail, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're basically saying that we need to make sure that we get all community members' voices heard in this process?
Yes, it was a struggle to get 1,000 or 1,200. We had to delay to get those residents to complete the survey. So I'm saying it should not be that difficult, and that we should show up. Your community, show up and have your voice heard.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Just wanted to repeat what Gail just finished off with. Gail was just asking that as community residents, we need to voice our opinion. It was a struggle to get 1,000 and somewhat survey responses. We really had to push for that. And this is money allocated for us, so she's requesting all the residents here. So please voice your opinion, be a part of this process.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ishmael, for that. I just want to conclude this item by saying, listen, if you want to get more involved, we are receiving application for CBOG, so think about applying. But Leonard asked a very important question. That is, where's the oversight coming from? And then the name of the group is the Community Benefits Oversight Working Group for a reason. This is a place for residents to hold Tridel and TCHC accountable to the commitments made to the community. So when Teresa mentioned the 2% interim spending, that was a decision by residents. They are the one who put a cap on spending, because the theory from TCBN, Toronto Community Benefits Network, and other stakeholders is you don't spend the money until you have a community benefits agreement in place, so that you do the monitoring and evaluations well. So the oversight comes from residents, to answer that question. And if you folks think $26.8 million is a lot of money, I have some bad news. We funded the Community Priorities Report. We costed it out with TCHC. And what we need in our community is over $100 million. So we need to work with both the provincial government, we had Sasha here from Christine Wong-Tam's office, and our federal government to secure funding so that all those priorities are well funded. So we are on a roadmap to success, right? A pathway to success. So 26.8 million is what we fought for and won, but we want to get more investments for our community. So I want to thank both Teresa and Isha for presenting. Thank you so much. Sure. Teresa would like to say one last thing.
I do want to say that $26.8 million is a lot of money. Okay, I hear what you're saying about what the overall need within the community is, but this is the largest community benefits investment that we've had in North America. So Vancouver at the moment is also doing quite a lot of work with numerous developers, and they're just sort of getting that process started as well. But this investment and this process that we have here in terms of the level of community engagement, that is a first. So we are not always perfect. We don't always get it right, but please bear with us. Please help us get it to a point where, you know, it speaks to you and your priorities. So we appreciate your grace and your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa, and thank you, Isha. So it's a big accomplishment, all because of your hard work. So thank you. We're now going to pass it on to our next speaker. Ready? Caitlin, you ready?
Hey. Hey, folks. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Caitlin Ferreira, and I'm a Community Development Specialist with YSM. Ooh. Okay, I'll try not to move. So I'm here to present on the Evaluation and Benchmarks Committee. So a quick little agenda for my slides. We're going to talk about this year's work. If you haven't seen me or haven't seen a survey, I don't know how you slipped from my grasp. We'll go into some early insights from our data this year, and then some next steps for the committee. So first, this year's work. We did 2 rounds of data collection this year. One was in the spring and early summer. One has been late summer, early fall. Data collection was either social development plan wide, like a common question survey, or it was specific to your committee or working group. So it could be pieces like attendance, evaluation and benchmarks had a survey for our members, planning committee had a survey. The second round of data collection closes today. So I see some people with surveys. There's a laptop at the table back there next to registration. Fill out a survey. If you give me your first name and your phone number, I'll enter you into a draw and I'll give you a super great gift card. So once this closes today, the evaluations committee is going to be analyzing all of this data and coming up with a few reports to give back to the SDP for full transparency on what we're hearing. So we're going to look at things like impact, attendance, general findings, and we'll use the YSM times framework to show how groups are progressing, going from, you know, requiring a lot of support to being fully independent groups. I really want to take some time to highlight resident leadership. So this year we had 9 amazing residents act as our evaluation champions. So I want to give them a huge round of applause right now. And so they did so much work for their corresponding working groups and committees. They came up with their surveys. They outlined the goals for the year. They've been pushing this work to make sure that we can properly evaluate what we're doing and making sure that we're moving the needle, that we're accomplishing things. And so this was slightly different from what we'd done in years past, but it was very, very successful. I'm really happy. And we are looking to recruit next year's champions. So if you're in a working group or committee and you want to be a nerd with me and do some surveys, you can contact myself or Ishmael, who's sitting right back here. We would love to have you, but we'll put out a more formal request in the new year. And also a huge shout out to the evaluations committee for all of the work you've been doing. We've started to evaluate the information we've gotten in so far, and you guys are great. So some early insights. There is a evaluations committee one-pager floating around here. If you don't see a copy, I'll also send it out to individuals. And I'm going to go through everything that's on the one-pager in my slides. We pulled some questions from our common questions survey just to highlight some early themes that we're seeing across a couple of themes. So the one-pager is broken down into 4 separate sections. One is goals and decision-making, one is meeting processes, one is comfortability and respect, and then we had open-ended questions. And this will just be a taste of the data you're gonna see next year. Next year will be, you know, larger reports, really bright infographics, but we wanted to give some insight into what we're seeing. And just something we really wanted to pinpoint Why are we doing this anyway? Why do we meet every other Monday and sit on Zoom and come up with this work? It's because we really want to see if we're meeting our goals. Are we achieving social cohesion and inclusion? Are we doing anything? Or are we just, messing about? We are doing things. We really want to celebrate our success and show that the SDP works. So we need to continue to have it funded and continue this fantastic work. So first, goals and decision making. This is a question we pulled. My working group has agreed upon its overarching goals. So people could answer between 1 and 5. 1 was strongly, strongly, strongly disagree. 5 was super agree. The average response was a 3.85, but most commonly people responded with a 5. I super duper agree that we've all agreed upon our goals. We know what we're doing and we're doing it together. My working group regularly analyzes the effectiveness of our projects and adjusts them accordingly. This average response was a little lower, a 3.41, with most people saying, I'm kind of in the middle, neither here nor there. So this is already some early insights we're getting about, maybe we need to evaluate our work a little more frequently to make sure we're taking actions. And if we are, maybe we set the next goal to do something a little bit greater than we thought this year. Our working group has community residents highly involved in its decision-making and problem solving. The average response, 3.91. Most common response was a 5. And that's what we want to see. We don't want to have meetings that are just agency staff sitting around going, I think this is what community wants. We want to hear residents say, this is what community wants. For meeting processes, length of meetings is appropriate for the members, accomplishing the agenda, and time is used well in meetings. People said 3.65. Yeah, meetings are good. They're working out in terms of, the time allotted for them. Facilitation is effective and makes people feel comfortable. This was a 3.76. People most commonly said a 4. The facilitation was pretty good, which is great because a lot of our meetings are facilitated by residents. So congratulations to you being able to put yourself out there and to lead a meeting like that. There's good communication and listening within meetings, something that I think is highly important. Also, average response, 3.76. And most people said 5 out of 5. We are listening really, really well to each other, which if you're not listening, no work is gonna get done. In terms of comfortability and respect, you feel comfortable to contribute at meetings, 3.91. And most people said, most people said a 5. So they feel comfortable not just showing up to meetings, but actually being able to contribute, being able to speak, say, I want to take on this work, or I want to lead the next meeting. So not just sitting there to be a warm body, sitting there to actively participate. You feel respected in the SDP, all going back to our goal of social cohesion and inclusion. Average response was a 3.85, and most people were somewhere between a 4 and a 5. So somewhere between a yeah and a yeah. Through my involvement in the working group, I have a greater sense of belonging in the community, which again, all goes back to this social cohesion and inclusion. Average response 3.91, and most people said 5, that they feel that they really belong because of their work, which I thought was really important. So now some open-ended questions, not just clicking a button, but actually writing out, what do you think about this? So we asked, what is something that your working group could do better? And we got some really, really good, insightful answers, like outreach, recruitment, diversity of voices, collaboration, not just collaboration within Regent Park, but citywide with other agencies, stakeholder tables, and communication, which is always good. And what skills have you gained by working with your working group or committee? This had such an array of answers, but again, most common was facilitation, great, mediation and conflict resolution, listening skills, and patience. And everyone who said patience put a lot of exclamation points, so I thought I really wanted to put an exclamation point on the slide too. So finally, yes? Sure. Sorry, my folks at the back. Hello? Thanks.
Okay, my friends. I know we've got new folks that joined us. Welcome to our meeting. Kevin, welcome. Leonard, folks in the back, welcome to our meeting. We're having an important presentation in the front. So if you could join us, Adonis, other folks, I know you really, really want to talk. Ali. I love how you tell stories. I want to hear your story. But let's all pay attention to Caitlin because this is such an important presentation. It's about our evaluations, okay? So if everyone could pay attention here, that'd be great. And if you want to speak, you can maybe just step outdoors just for a second and talk and come back. That will help us carry forward with the meeting. Okay, folks? Do we have an understanding? Kevin, come and shake my hand, bro. I want to say hi to you too. Okay. Come make our rounds. Okay, Caitlin, ready?
Thank you. Thanks, Waleed. So next steps. If you haven't filled out the survey, go to the back table. I'll give you a physical copy. I'll give you a computer. Please fill it out because it closes tonight. New member recruitment. Did you love all of the graphs I just showed? Are you super interested in writing reports? You should be. Come join us. We meet every other Monday in the afternoons on Zoom. Maybe we'll do in person soon. Let us know. Report writing. That's starting now. Literally, once the survey closes, I'm going to go home and I'm going to look at it. So if you want to assist us, like I said, contact myself or Ishmael. And evaluations 2024. If you want to be a champion, if you want to help set goals, if you want to have some really good food and talk about numbers with me, reach out to Ishmael and myself. And I think that's all for my spiel.
Thank you, Caitlin. Caitlin's amazing. And Ishmael, too. I know he's also been supporting our evaluations and monitoring work. So shout out to Ishmael and Caitlin for the great work. You know, we're actually tracking, based on your responses, what residents feel about the social development plan in Regent Park. Our meetings, the facilitation. So this is so important work. So please fill out the survey before you leave because we want more participation. Is that right, Caitlin? Okay, now it's the fun part. This is my favorite part of our meetings. We're gonna hear from amazing presenters. It's because of residents like you that we were able to secure an investment in our community. $2.5 million over a span of 5 years. So $500,000 every year. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hear from our amazing partners in the community. These are folks that are running non-for-profit organizations or working with agencies. They're gonna present on their projects. So we're gonna start off with community building first. So I'm gonna quickly. Yes, and some money has already been spent. So Joel is gonna help you here. Oh, sorry, yeah, actually, you know what, we'll take some time for questions just in case Caitlin has any. Does anyone have any questions for Caitlin on the evaluations piece? Before we move on to the presentations, I know I got us all excited. Anyone with questions? Okay, see no questions. Your amazing presentation. Thank you, Caitlin. Okay, so now we're gonna invite the amazing groups to present. So I'm gonna ask Joel to help introduce the first group, which is ARAP, right? It's ARAP. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, folks, and just a quick word on the Community Building Working Group. We meet every month, and if anybody's interested in joining our group, just come speak to me after the meeting. And we work on all kinds of different things about bringing the community together. One of our big projects this year was Sunday in the Park, which we're not hearing about specifically tonight, but a lot of members of the community did a lot of work to pull that one together. Our first group that's going to present, this is not actually funded through the SDP itself. This was a project that came from funding from the federal government that a number of residents as well as the Community Health Center came together to fund a project on the called the Anti-Racist Action Project, which just wrapped up its work a few months ago. And we're going to hear from Amal. Is Amal available? She's here. Great. So Amal Mohammed is going to give us a quick presentation. Oh, just a moment. We got some technical stuff to work out here. Oh, and our co-chair from Community Building is here, Rabia. Just shout out to Rabia, one of our co-chairs from the community.
Can you try again?
Hi. Can everyone? Am I on? Okay.
You're on.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. So I'm Mel Mohammed, and as Joel mentioned, I was the Racism Action Program Coordinator, and the project closed by September 30th of this year. If you could just go to the next slide. Perfect. Okay, so I just want to give a bit of a context here. The project scope, the original concept of the project was to be a 3-year program that would address anti-racism through trauma-informed community building and engagement approaches that was to address historic and racism, inclusion, isolation experienced by community members in our neighborhood. It should be noted that members have experienced race-like trauma resulting from these historic and structural racism, as well as there being to confront anti-Black and Indigenous racism. And this was expressed what informed the project created. The second piece is also the length of the project. As it should have been a 3-year project, unfortunately, due to the pandemic and funding approval, the project length ended up being 18 months. This, of course, led to the project's scope and led to a revision of project. We created a project committee consisted of community partners and residents that were members of the and that also included the Arab project team and the program director. But by the end of July 2022, we did suffer the recruitment setbacks, and this created within the project team to frame the planned objectives and or activities of the project in order to within our and very intense timeline. And so due to being short-staffed, we sort of have to refrain a few of our major activities and take into consideration the additional resources that we have. You can go to the next. And so with our outline, we also pick a set of values that we would adhere to while doing work. So the first being learn. So ERA focus on and reflection to nurture belongingness. The second is grow. You are accountable to maintain your anti-racism. And the third is heal. ERA define mutual encouragement for your needs with community. What I wanted to share here today is the best practices that we shared with the and with the Regent Park community for considerations. And the best practices that I'll be mentioning here is specifically in mind for the SDP network. And I will acknowledge that if you would like to have access to our full project report along with our slide deck, please connect to the SDP administrator. So the first piece is relationship building. Our team recognized that the project would be better served with a multi-year timeline as originally envisioned. The first year of the project was pivotal for building the foundation of relationships, partnerships, and community trust. In addition to creating understanding amongst community members on anti-racism learning as an act of liberation. We were slowly seeing interest in our project grow from community members and even SDP members in the last 8 months of our project. The rough estimate, but what we did recognize that it took quite a bit of time to build that trust and relationship with individuals, especially individuals who are also navigating ongoing trauma and stress from repeated experiences of racism and marginalization. The second best practice that came from our lessons learned and how we engaged was optimizing social media platforms. Although the original project did not consider the benefit of creating social media platforms for the project team recognized that in order to engage and build relationships with younger residents, having social media accounts was very significant and pivotal to our project outcomes. As such, Our team created Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and all of this was supported by our community animators who helped carry a lot of our social media outreach and communication. So this helped us to connect with organizations and social participation. The third piece is development of a knowledge resource bank. Upon working alongside with the SDP network, our team noticed that there was no allocated space to access resources on anti-racism education. As a solution, we developed an online knowledge resource bank to facilitate anti-racism learning, resource navigate for the membership. The learning bank was curated as a sustainable and continuous anti-racism learning from an organization, but more specifically, an opportunity for network members to have access to this form of resource. It's, in case you're interested, to know, it is divided into 16 subfolders. The content is meant to be managed as information, but to be updated with intentions to grow.
Thank you.
The
Thank
knowledge
you, Amal.
bank is
Amal, I just want to thank you for your
informed,
presentation. Amal, I hope you can hear me. Amal, just because we're going over time, so thank you so much for that presentation. We're now going to invite the Filipinos in Regent Park Community Group. All right. Thank you, Amal, and welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mary Ann, and I'm the Filipinos in Regent Park Community Program Lead. Well, so here the picture of our last event. Last June 15, July 15. In behalf of the Filipino community, we are very grateful that we are one of the recipient for the grant from the SDP. So I'm just gonna read because I get nervous. So, okay. So the summary. The purpose of this project is to build the capacity of Filipinos in Regent Park and to sustain our activities and expand. So in order to fulfill our mission to build unity and uplift the well-being of every Filipinos in Regent Park. Our history is the history of the working class and migrant struggles. There are many Filipinos in Regent Park who are contributing to the community, and there's a need to increase connection and collective power. So yeah, we need this lively organization to celebrate this history and empower us to sustain our work. So in just a brief summary of what we have done so far, we started organizing last September 2018 already. We've created this group for connections and bringing our communities in Regent Park. But again, since we got a grant, so the group got mobilized once more and got energized. Last April 22 in the basement of Sam's store, who always offer his support for us. There were more than 30 community members who attended. The community was very happy to be chosen as one of the recipients. And we started planning for our celebration of the independence of the Filipino people. We did it last July 15, 2023. There was a storm warning that day, but we didn't fret. And the event was very successful. We were able to celebrate that our independence and our heritage at the park. We were graced by the presence of City Councilor Chris Moyes and MPP Christine Wong Tam, who danced Zumba with us as well and acknowledged the work that we do for the community. We bake we partner with Friends of Regent Park. We baked in the coconut buns, which is one of the favorite sweets of Regent Park now since it got introduced, the coconut buns. So we introduced that in the community of Regent Park. That's every year actually, right, Leonard? Yes. So we are partnering with Friends of Regent Park to make that happen, and together with Filipino volunteers. So you can see the picture, they're very happy. and the Zumba picture over there. This is just a summary because I know we're short of time. And after that, we did more other activities, right? Workshops are, so after we meet last April, there's a lot of people that wants to participate and showcase their talents. We had sign-up sheets. What do you want? How you gonna be involved like this and like that? So they put it out on paper, and we had workshop series. There was a painter who lead that program, and we are still continuing that. And we again did Zumba in the park because there was a interest. We continue planning, and there will be more. There will be a celebration on December next month for the culmination of the work that we did for the past couple of months. And I'm just gonna shorten it. So thank you so much. So if it's not gonna happen if we don't have support from the community. So thank you.
We all support the Filipinos in Regent Park community, right? Thank you. So we're gonna invite our next speaker, Kevin. Kevin, are you with us? From TFAA? Kevin? He was right there. Someone get him. I know he's having some interesting conversations. Kevin, we've been waiting for you, my friend. So join us. Okay, so I'm gonna encourage everyone to pay attention to this amazing presentation from one of the groups funded through the community building platform. Ready? No worries, brother. No, you didn't get it? Okay. Okay, you're gonna freestyle it. 3 minutes. Send it. Check SDP. Regent Park. We have? Perfect. Okay, we're gonna just put in the new presentation before Kevin starts. Kevin, while we do that, why don't you tell us more about yourself, your group, and then get started?
How's everybody doing today? Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to listen to the presentations over here at the SDP to see what we're doing to better our community. My name's Kevin Zavalos. I run a soccer organization called Toronto Football Athletic Advancement. Our focus is to provide soccer programming, structured soccer programming in the Downtown East District, specifically in Regent Park, as you guys already know. And we deal with kids from the ages of 5 to 13 specifically, but we have done other things for the older age groups as well. So I'm here to talk to you about a bit about what's happened this year and last year as well. Yeah. Now, this year we were provided a grant to provide programming for employment, for women's programming, and also to start our youth council with and do 2 events, okay? So, just to kind of go into it, I can't see over here. Yeah, so as you can see, the Football for All project was created for employment, youth council, and women's summer league. The overall goals was to ensure employment for residents, professional development for youth through the council, and to create events and accessible programs for those interested in the soccer programs, okay? Just to kind of give you some data from last year. Last year, we had about 65 participants in the house leagues. That's for the youth from the ages of 5 to 13. We employed 15 residents within our community, and we did a coach certification program last year as well, where we had 20 residents as well attend and get certifications straight from the Ontario Soccer Association. We also collaborated with Toronto Community Housing and with local daycares in TDSB. Yes. Oh, mic up? Is it not that loud? Sorry, guys. For 2023, it's been a special year. I've been excited about this year and what we've done. We had 560 participants, not only through our programs, but through our events as well. 180 youth girls were in our programs and events. We had 8 youth council members. 14 residents were employed this year. One down from last year, but we hope to kind of double that up in the upcoming year. And then we hosted 2 events, one futsal for all and one football for all, which was for men, and then the other one was for women. Our partnerships this year was with Toronto Community Housing. They supported us with a number of jerseys for our youth that we gave out for free so that they can attend our programs in style. Canadian Tire Jumpstart is also our partner at this time, so that we can start to create sustainability for the future and subsidize fees so that they are not paying for programs in the future. And then we also continue with our local our local collaborations with the daycares and other organizations as well. Okay. Now, how has Football for All made a difference this year? So Football for All, which is what we call our campaign, has made a difference because it's given opportunities for youth to have these programs accessible to them. Unfortunately, we still have some issues with the Regent Park Athletic Grounds where we aren't able to provide this space for all for all participants. We split it in half this year where we had I think the ages of 3 to 8 over here in the Regent Park Athletic Grounds because we got 2 hours from 8 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. The other half was at Jarvis Collegiate. And I know in the past we've had complaints that saying that Regent Park's participants aren't able to get there by themselves. But what I see is a positive from this is that at least we got 2 hours, right? Of course, we need more, and that's what we're going to be fighting for next year based on our results for this year. Economic development for our community through our events. What we've seen was that our Football for All and our Futsal for All events brought in a ton of people from outside of the community. For the men's, it was over 300 participants just participating in the event. And then for the women's, it was about 120, if I'm not mistaken. And now, for the upcoming year, we're trying to figure out how do we capitalize and create that economic development over here in Regent Park where we are able to help our vendors, our local businesses to thrive from these people coming in and spending money, which is the next step for next year. Professional development and employment opportunities. Our youth council were taught in many different areas as well. Having presidents, vice presidents, treasurers, secretaries in those to start those events was another aspect that gave them opportunities to build and say they have that experience for other jobs in the future. And then we had our emphasis on the 4 pillars, which everybody knows: community building, safety, communications, and economic and employment and economic development. Yes. We'll go on to the next slide. Those are small comments from some parents who did our surveys. Positive, but still the same issue of the Regent Park Athletic Grounds. We'll move up to the next slide. And I'd like to thank you guys. That's from our women's program, event. And there's a little collage on the bottom, well, on the next slide as well. It's amazing. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. What a professional presentation. I'm so impressed, especially with the visuals. Thank you so much. We're now going to take questions. We're going to be very brief. So, Leonard, you want to go first?
Football, F-U-T-B-O-L.
So, Leonard, in other parts of the world, soccer is called football, my friend. So it's associated. Okay, that's the answer. Any other question about not just Kevin's presentation, but the other presentations as well? So, Arab and our friends from the Filipinos in Regent Park Community Group. Any questions? Okay, seeing no other questions, thank you, Kevin.
Or want to come see us, we are at Queen Street East, 339 Queen Street East. So we do have a physical office now, so we would love to hear your opinions, and we would love to see you come visit us. All right?
Amazing. Well done, brother. Well done. Okay, we're now going to move on to one of my favorite working groups, the Regent Park Safety Network. So let's hear it from one of the co-chairs, Leonard.
So there are 4 pillars, as Kevin mentioned, 4 pillars: the employment and economic, community building, what was the other one? Communications and safety. Regent Park Safety Network. I'm proud to say that I'm one of the co-chairs with the beautiful Haja Abu Bakr, who's here. Haja and I are co-chairs. We're called the Regent Park Safety Network for 2 reasons. Number 1, safety first. We are responsible for liaising with different agencies to promote the physical and mental well-being of the residents of Regent Park. Thanks. For example, this past year we had a recent workshop called Stop the Bleed that touched on issues around first aid, CPR, and AED, automatic external defibrillation, because we're interested in keeping people alive, keeping people safe, especially during the colder months of the year. Quick number of tips. If you see a railing, use it. Traction, good footwear, very important. And remember, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. So dress up for the winter. Okay, physical, mental well-being as well. Very important to promote engagement, involvement, especially for people who are experiencing loneliness or isolation. A lot of people in the seniors buildings, we have 2 of them here, the Chartwell the Sumac by Chartwell, and our very own TCH run seniors building, which actually is now a TSH building, Toronto Seniors Housing, a new agency by the initiated by the City of Toronto to split off roughly 70 seniors residence buildings from Toronto Community Housing, which is, as we all know, is Toronto's largest and worst landlords, TCH. Hopefully there aren't too many people who are going to beat me up for that. TSH, Toronto Seniors Housing. For example, we promote a program every week, Wednesdays at 3 o'clock. We touch on physical fitness for seniors, stretching and breathing exercises, weight training, dancing that we do with the seniors. If anyone's over the age of 50, you're more than welcome to join us every Wednesday at 3 o'clock at the TSH building, Toronto Seniors Housing, at 252 Sackville Street on the 7th floor. And we do that with Dancing with Parkinson's, which is a very respected group. What else? Oh yeah, almost done. Okay, we have monthly general meetings, so everyone is invited the 3rd Monday of every month at 5:30 p.m. If anyone's interested, please see Haja over here or myself. If you don't get an email from us, please give us your email address and we'll add you to our master list to make sure you get reminders. And at those general meetings, by the way, sometimes they're pretty lively, thanks to the person over there who will remain nameless. And we have often speeches and presentations made by younger people, such as building leadership for change. And we hear every month from the Toronto Police Services, 51 Division NCOs. That stands for Neighborhood Community Officers. They participate in the meetings. A crisis response team, that's right. They also make a presentation. We hear from TCH, some wonderful people, Jerome Leach and Jermel Humphrey. And Daniela, Felicia White, some very interesting, lively discussions, as I'm being reminded here by Ines, the former chair, and Lloyd as well. I saw him earlier. Any recommendations, please again see Hadja or myself, Leonard Swartz, and hope to see you participate. Right now we're still doing Zoom meetings, but you're more than welcome. Thanks very much, and I'll pass it on.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for the safety network real quickly? Any questions? Okay, no one online? Good job. Thank you, Leonard. Thank you, Hadja. Thank you for being here. And I know our friends at TCH are also supporting the safety network. I'm going to pass it on to Marlene. Go ahead, Marlene.
Yeah, I'd like to ask Leila Zia if she's here from the EED network to give their presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Leila.
Good evening, everyone.
Is Ibrahim here as well? Yeah, right here. Sorry, Ibrahim. I don't have it written down.
Okay, thank you very much. As it was mentioned, we do have 4 tables, but each table works a little bit different. Our table, we have a leadership team. So I just want to say, without my leadership team, nothing would be possible. So I just want to say thank you to each of the people that are presented there. Toronto Community Housing from Peter, Tridel, Asal and Miguel, Fatima from Daniels, and we do have an amazing undercover co-chair. She resigned, but we put her to work all the time. Gail, she never resigns, so we want to say thank you very much to her. There was a comment that was mentioned that we require residents to be engaged. So this is one of the tables that we desperately need you guys to come. We need your voices. Even though we meet twice a month, there's a lot of things that we think about for your needs. Next slide. So when you think of EED, think of 2 things. Think of employment and think of entrepreneurship. All of you want to get that great job. All of you want to move from surviving to thriving. So all of your employment needs, we need to think about how we can get you hired somewhere closer to this neighborhood and also somewhere that you can travel. So employment is one thing. So we have a project called Workforce Integrator. We will talk about it. Second part is entrepreneurship. I'm an entrepreneur, and so many of this neighborhood, there's a lot of entrepreneurs. So in order to be financial freedom, all of you, in order to do what you want to do, you need to be entrepreneurs. So join us in this table. Think of ideas, think of ways that there's lots of money coming into the neighborhood. What better way to spend it on your entrepreneurship journey? We have a couple of journeys. One of them is from Leila, we're going to hear about. She's going to talk about knowledge and what learning experiences you need as an entrepreneur. We have different paths, but we will come to our meetings. We will tell you everything about it. I don't want to take over more. Let me introduce the learning series, and then I will introduce you the other 2 projects we have. Okay. So to make things a little bit faster, Waleed got it wrong. It is the community cafe. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs. As I said before, you want to test out your ideas. So in this neighborhood, you know that if you're an entrepreneur, there's types of festivals that exist. And sometimes those festivals are in the summer. What better way to test your entrepreneurship if you're a food entrepreneur at this cafe? Look at that sign. The first restaurant in Regent Park, the only restaurant. And now we have so many entrepreneurs that will be using this cafe to test out their ideas. Come get your lunch, come get your breakfast. We will share with you the menus of a lot of residents. Next we have the Workforce Integrator. We have a young coordinator named Ibru. So how work is really to think about how to get you guys employed, not just through her effort, but the collective effort of this community. We're thinking of building pathways for employment, so you guys, and not just your kids, but you guys who still have aspirations to get that great job, how do we do that for you? So the Workforce Integrator is working on that. Last but not least, there is a strategy that she's building on using what is called pathway building for workforce integrators. The last slide. So there's many details that I wish I could tell you. We just finished our, every 3 months we do a community meeting talking about all of our projects, but come to our monthly meetings and let me give it to Leila before we run out of time.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Okay, good evening again. My name is Leila Zia, and I work on the Learning Series project. I'm the project coordinator. Learning Series is under the Economic and Employment Development Table, and we're just gonna go over the goals, the achievements, the details of the workshops, and the next steps. So the Learning Series was created with the goal of 20 women entrepreneurs to get the knowledge and the confidence to start their own businesses, for residents to learn project management alongside this program, and for Regent Park to identify different, a variety of businesses basically that are underlying here. If we go to the next slide, so the achievement, the actual thing that happened was we had 5 workshops, which each of them, the topics of those 5 workshops came from the need assessment phase that we went to entrepreneurs through surveys, through interviews, focus groups, and all of that. We have 45 individuals attending at least 2 of the workshops, and 14 entrepreneurs got connected to mentors from most of the mentors are from the market residents in the community, to continue their relationship and get a continuous sustainable support for their business as they grow. Other things that we've gone through, so we identified 9 different business types in the community. 3 people learned project management. One of them is getting a certificate very soon. And we had 101 marketing consultations for 8 entrepreneurs, 75% of them the folks who are involved in the cafe project. Sorry, I'm going so fast because I know we're short in time. And this is what makes me personally and the group going, really. The comments like, I feel supported in these sessions, and I really loved every minute of this event and really looking forward to what comes next. Really, every month for the past 5 months, this group came together, and it was a great experience. So the workshops were on idea development, 2 workshops on business plan creation, which one of them entrepreneurs sat with mentors 101 to go over their business plans. 1 financial management, which entrepreneurs walked out with Excel sheets that had very detailed budgeting and planning for them. And the next one is actually tomorrow, which is about grant writing and business registration. The mentorship program, as I mentioned, 14 entrepreneurs started it so far, 97% had continued, and business experts and consultants, 82% of them are from Regent Park market residents. And the program is based on a volunteer framework, which mentors donate their time each month, at least 1 to 4 hours per month, to entrepreneurs in the community. The marketing consultancy, as I mentioned, is another program that we're working on it. 75% of the entrepreneurs are from the cafe projects. We are hoping that each entrepreneur have a branding unique to their business, to themselves, and the collateral that they can use for their marketing purposes. And the upcoming thing by the end of the year is that everything that we put together in person for the community in the past 5 months, 7 months, we're gonna put all of it online as well, as an initiative that this resource, this learning resource, will be available in the community and will stay in the community even after the learning series program is done. It will be a free online course, 10 hours, and it's supported by our partner, Center of Learning and Development across the street. That's it, thank you.
Are there any questions for either Leila or Ibrahim? Anyone need any clarification on anything they've been talking about? No questions at all? Nope. Oh. You want a question? Sure, go ahead.
Thanks. Is it? I noticed we're adding a third Tim Hortons.
Say something about it.
There
Ibrahim, you
are
ready?
3 Tim Hortons now in Regent Park. What about diversity in terms of economic development?
So as I mentioned in the entrepreneurial journey, so there are commercial spaces in the neighborhood that is available for any entity that is privately owned to come to the neighborhood and say, we want to do services here. Tim Horton really loves Regent Park, but there is opportunities also for commercial retail space for community members. So this is a subsidized commercial spaces just for you guys. Daniels have put together an RFP for anybody to actually put a bid. The bid is closed, but that doesn't mean that will be the only one. As you know, phases 4 and 5, there's micro retail spaces that are coming up. That's also in the category of commercial community spaces. So there's many opportunities for entrepreneurs for different ideas to come to the neighborhood in terms of space-wise. But if you have ideas, what comes to Regent Park, all of these commercial spaces, nobody's saying no to money. So send your ideas to Fatima and the future owners of these commercial spaces. But the good news for you guys is if you are an entrepreneur and you're looking for a space, the deals are very good. The first year, almost zero rent. Second year, you're paying a little bit square foot. So it's a 5-year plan, getting you guys into these commercial spaces. So thank you.
Sounds good.
Excuse me, I would like to answer your question, however. When the builders were first here, it was very difficult to get retailers to even come to Regent Park. The deal with Tim Hortons was if they weren't allowed to have 3 stores, they weren't coming at all. And that was the deal they had with them. That's why we have all 3. Okay.
So we're having next communications. I would like to call the co-chairs, Marshida and Adonis. And it says here, Abdi.
Hi, everybody. My name's Adonis, and I'm here with
Marshida,
my co-chair. We're from the communications working group. And first of all, how many of you have seen a Regent Park TV episode? A few. Okay. So Regent Park TV is on YouTube. You can see it. And there you go. Regent Park Community TV is your TV. And there's a whole wealth of information, videos that you can see on YouTube, but also on the website, which is regentpark.tv. So it's all about Regent Park. It's all about issues that happen in Regent Park. It's about events that go on. And we're here as much as we can, as much resources as we can to basically film everything that happens at Regent Park that's connected to the social development plan. We also produce, and I'm going to tell you a little bit, I'm going to let Marshida tell you the rest of our activities. But basically, we have meet monthly. There are residents that are involved. Focus, us are involved. YSM is involved. The Tech Library, Dixon Hall. So we all meet once a month and to basically look at coordinate projects that we do. And here are the projects.
Yes. Guys, if you want to know about the Regent Park, please do see that TV. Honestly, there's a lot of amazing information. As I saying it, and we produce a monthly newsletter as well as Catch the Flavor. Please do see our third Catch the Flavor. It's right there. Leonard, please show it to everybody. Thank you. And we have a community neighborhood hub, Hello Neighbor it's called, and it's a centralized hub, and then all the information are updated, and we do develop that, and then it is up and running right now. Please, if you have any updates you wanted to give feedbacks and stuff like that, please talk to Ibrahim.
How many of you have the Hello Neighborhood app?
I have it. Sure, thank you. We do create neighborhood content broadcast in Regent Park TV, whatever's happened. Let's say if there's an event, Sunday in the park, and there's every Wednesday, what is that? Any event that happens, it goes in that TV. Any meetings, all the SDP meetings that happen, it's all been produced in the Regent Park TV. Please do watch it, and you will get more information about it. And we provide with the support with the SDP hybrid meeting, just like this. We have a hybrid and we have an in-person, so we do support on that. And also we promote the SDP table, and then we talk about the SDP table with different people, folks, and what is SDP, who can involve and who can, and even if they don't want to involve, just to give out the information, right? So that's what we do, and also increase in digital access to throughout the tech library. Honestly, if you guys need a laptop, or any internet access, please do come to our tech library. It runs from 12 to 8, I believe. Or you could see they have a staff, which is Mufiza, and there's Isa. What's his name? Abdurrahman is there too, and then other staff is there. Please connect with them. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Please wave to them. Please do talk to them and how you can able to get your laptops and everything. Yes, that's my turn is done.
And we'll just, great, yeah, big hand, great. And then just in terms of some of the accomplishments, and you'll hear a little bit more from the tech library in a few minutes. We have had, in terms of a subscription to Catch the Flavor, so Catch the Flavor is not only a printed magazine that's occasionally printed, but a monthly e-newsletter. So if you're not getting the newsletters because you're not on the mailing list, so please get on the mailing list, and every month you'll get a newsletter that comes to you with events on it, as well as the calendar events. And so far we have 1,052 subscribers of the newsletter. For rptv, we have produced our 138 rptv videos since January the 1st. Of which 23 of them are a weekly news show that we put on. So about Regent Park and issues that go on. And the total viewers to date is 39,592 viewers. Our subscribers, if you, we ask you to subscribe to Regent Park TV, and that way you'll get sort of a notice that comes up every time an episode comes. So far, we have 1,462 subscribers. As far as Hello Neighborhood app, they had 301 downloads of the app and 1,356 page views. In terms of the tech library, since August the 28th, the launch of it, they've had 97 members have signed up, and with 340 loans. So a lot of work that has going on, very impressive work. And I think we're going to ask the tech library to come up at this point in time. Go ahead. Say something.
Before I give it to tech library, I wanted to announce something. If you guys need any health support, any doctors, family doctors, or you need a social support, please come and see me at the back, and I can connect you with the right people. And yes, now I give it to tech library. Abdurrahman or Mufiza.
Could you pass and we'll do the introduction? Okay, so Abdi is here for the tech library.
And his assistants. No, we're just waiting for Abdi, you know?
Hello, everyone. My name is Abdurrahman. I am the project coordinator for the Regent Park Tech Lending Library. And this is Ihsan, one of the peer support workers, one of our amazing staff, Mufisa as well, Shira's sister. So yeah, we've been running since September, so for about 3 months now. And like Adonis mentioned, just last week when I sent the updates, we were at 340. Now we're just at 398 loans. So it's growing and growing. So we're really looking forward to that, and we really see the need and the impact that we're making. At first, we started off with about 8 laptops, and this was in September. After a week or so, our waiting list started growing and growing. And we partnered with The Journey, and with the help of CSI, we secured an extra 15 laptops, pushing us to 23. And then after a week after that, our waiting list started piling up. So we're looking towards to increase our inventory to help the community. So yeah, we're just gonna go over to some of the stats. Yeah, so like I mentioned, we're at 398 as of today loans, and we serve over 100 residents are registered to our tech lending library. And yeah, so we have about 23 laptops, 8 tablets, and 10 Wi-Fi sticks. And the Wi-Fi sticks are really important because a lot of people at home might not have proper internet access. I know for myself, I was watching videos in 144p, and I thought that was normal. And I noticed that other people had way faster Wi-Fi, fiber optics. And our Wi-Fi sticks might not be as fast, but they provide adequate access to internet. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, 10 mobile hotspots. If you can scroll down just a bit more. So this is the impact that we had in 3 months. So first is supporting entrepreneurs. I know there was a lot of events like Sunday in the Park and Taste of Regent Park where people just accepted cash, and that kind of limited the amount of money that they can make. So we actually lent out our mobile hotspots to people to help them with their square point of access. And that helped greatly increase the amount of money they can make, because people can just walk up and tap, right? Rather than using their mobile hotspot on their phone, they can come to us and we lend them the Wi-Fi hotspots. Yeah. Yeah.
So in regards to empowering students, I suppose it would be kind of obvious why they'd want something like this, right? Like, why would they want a laptop? Why would they want a tablet, right? Why would they want a Wi-Fi stick? You know, people talk about, oh, why don't you just get your Wi-Fi from like the nearest Tim Hortons or a Starbucks or something like that? I mean, that's not reliable. You know, with these Wi-Fi sticks, you can take it, you can go anywhere with it. I mean, he was just talking about the fact that these speeds are very high, especially for something that, you know, me and Abdurrahman and a lot of people that we know are not actually used to, you know, and so it's very obvious how students would be empowered by these things, right? And the fact that we have laptops that are always available, we're always, you know, available 7 days a week. We're out here 1 to 7, you know, and many students, many old people, many young people, many, you know, and it's interesting because like me as someone who just works for the tech library, right? I'm always here, you know, Monday, you know, Wednesday, and you know, people might ask, okay, well, what has been your experience, you know, working at the tech library, right? And for me, it's like, you know, I've never had a bad customer. I've never had a bad member of the community, right? Or at least a bad interaction with them. Why? Because everyone's humble, you know, because everyone wants, you know, access, right? And so, you know, when we have initiatives like this, it really proves the fact that the community, you know, it really needs this, you know. We're talking about 398. I mean, the holidays are coming up, and we're planning for a spike of even more people, and you know, even more laptops and tablets and Wi-Fi sticks that need to be used and will be handed out. You know, literally every single day there's at least, oh, maybe it's the laptops, maybe it's the Wi-Fi sticks, maybe it's the tablets, but irregardless, there's always something that we're just out of stock. You know, we're out here, we're telling people, okay, sorry? Exactly, it shows a need. I'm gonna hand it back to.
Yeah. For sure, and just quick, if I have a bit more time, some practical examples. I had 2 youth approach me, and they mentioned that they wanted to take a cloud computing course. It's a 3-month course on AWS, and they mentioned that it's on Zoom, and their laptops at home weren't that fast, or they didn't have access, or they're sharing with a family member. So they approached us. We lent them the laptops. They're 2 months in now, and they mentioned how grateful they were. And that's kind of, it builds the community. Once you build the youth, right, give them access. We mentioned that there's going to be a lot of grants coming up. I'm assuming all of them are going to be online applications, right? And some people don't have access to laptops or internet, right? They might not have the same opportunities or access to the same opportunities as everyone else. So thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's the last slide. So yeah, some pictures. We actually attended an event with Leonard from the Friends of Regent Park. It's called Borrow a Grandparent, where seniors and youth came to our tech lending library, and Mufisa showed them our devices. They were playing games on the tablets, so it was a really fun event. So thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Waleed, thank you.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. Thank you, Hassan. Let's just pass it on to Ibrahim.
As you can hear, so many things are happening, so many things are going on. And one thing I want to mention to you is there was a time in this neighborhood when you didn't know what was happening. There was a time when you can say, I don't know, I have to go visit every organization, every grassroots. I have to go to every single one to know what's going on. But this time is over. As you know, Regent Park has all of these folks working together. I've never seen, maybe I haven't got around to many neighborhoods, but I have never seen a neighborhood where residents, organizations, grassroots can come together and say, this is how we want to see our community, and there are projects and projects and projects that are working together. So we need your help. One of the projects that got started with the 500K with the city was the neighborhood app. But today the neighborhood app called Hello Neighbor is active thanks to stakeholders that really care about it. And one of the stakeholders is the neighborhood association. So thank you very much. The next stakeholder is Young Street Mission. Without it, we could not continue to have these amazing Hello Neighbor. And the last one is you guys. We need you guys to tell us what is happening. One thing we figured out from the Hello Neighbor is that we need more content in there. So we have, go to the next slide. We have 6 sections in the Hello Neighbor. Those 6 sections are the RPNA Neighborhood Association. So if you want to know about what's going on in your neighborhood association, that is the location to go to. We have latest news. So Adonis talked about Regent Park TV. So many episodes about this community, so many things that are happening. If you don't want to go to YouTube and you want to go to Hello Neighbor, you can access it there. We also have jobs in the neighborhood. So if you know your organization is hiring and you want the residents of this community to apply, jobs in Regent Park, something you want to know, we will put it there. We also have a place called the directory. So this directory is actually meant for entrepreneurs and artists. So a lot of entrepreneurs in the community, you've seen how many amazing food are getting cooked. So we want these entrepreneurs to come to the directory. So instead of ordering from Uber, you order from your local neighborhood. Last but not least is the social development plan. The social development plan has so many information happening, so many, as you heard, $26 million in this community. So all of this information, you want an easy access, quick place to look at. Your Hello Neighborhood is the place to go to. And finally, because of thanks to Young Street Mission, we are able to continue the work of adding content to it. So I just want to give a high five to stepping up Young Street Mission. Thank you very much. But if you want to share information with us, contact us at connect@helloneighbor.info. And if we don't do it, hold us accountable, because we have a new boss in town. Just want to introduce you to Stella. She is my boss, making sure that I do things the right way. So thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Ibrahim. So Ishmael was supposed to go next, and Ines, do you want to quickly introduce Ishmael? But I'll take it over after 1 second. Questions? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lead that first, and we'll do the. Yeah.
Sorry, Ishmael. So does anybody have any questions for the presenters that we just had? Well, I just had one question for the library text. Where did you guys get the money? Is it you guys requested the grants? How do you guys buy more laptops?
Excellent.
Sorry if I heard correctly. How do we buy the laptops?
Yeah, like where did you guys get the money? Was
Yeah,
there,
for sure.
you guys fundraise it, or did you get it from?
Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So initially, the 8 laptops and the 7 tablets that we had were funded by CIRA, so they helped start the project. But the other laptops came from refurbished laptops, so people heard about our organization actually through the RPTV. So they mentioned, they said they saw our article in the RPTV piece, and they mentioned that they have 15 laptops that they were donated. So we went to the refurbished place, we refurbished the laptops, all of it free of charge. They just lent it to us. They gave it to us for free. So if anyone has laptops that they might not use, that's kind of, or to donate, we can actually send it to our refurbishing partner organization, and we'll have it circulating within a few weeks. Yeah.
Well, hopefully for the social development plan that is coming for the grants, apply for that. So
We'll
that
definitely
way,
apply.
since it's for the community.
Yeah, for sure. And now that I'm up here as well, we have our sign up there. So if you want to actually register, maybe you don't want a laptop now, but it'll help us out a lot if you just scan the barcode and just register for the tech library. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abdurrahman. So now this is going to be the fun part. If the fact that you guys stayed for the entire meeting, you are going to love what we're going to do next. So Ilona, be ready because I'm going to invite you soon, right? You all got raffle tickets. But before we get into the raffle tickets, I just want to confirm with Ishmael, we've got 8, right, in total? 4 in total or 8? 8. Perfect. So we'll do 4 now, and then we'll do the 4 later on with the raffles, okay? So I'm going to ask 4 questions. And the first person to get it right will get what gift card? Tell me more about the gift card, Marlene.
They're from sitting in the store. Yeah, they're Freshco gift cards, $25 a piece.
Okay. So you get $25 gift cards from Freshco. So the first question for everyone. What is the goal of the social development plan? Go ahead.
And inclusion.
Congratulations! Social cohesion and inclusion. You're paying attention. Thank you so much. What's your name?
Jean.
Thank you so much and congratulations. You're our first winner. Okay? Okay. So we're going to give her a gift card. We're going to make sure, Ishmael, just make sure you get our contact info. We're going to give it. Yeah, don't worry. We'll give it then. Leonard is very pushy today. He's like, where's that gift card? Okay, the second question. Very simple question. How many working groups of the social development plan do we have? Go ahead. You, how many? It's a very simple question.
8.
Wrong. Not 8. No. Next person. Ali? Wrong. Okay, I'll come around. Okay, we got another. Yes, we got someone here. Go ahead. And you want? I know you two want to do it. Don't worry, we got 2 more prizes. 4, correct. So we have our third winner. Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Annika.
Annika, thank you so much for remembering how many working groups we have. So let's make sure we have Annika's contact info. For the, okay, so now how many have we given away? 2, right? So we've got the third question. Okay, if you're paying attention. The third question is, what does the acronym CBOWG stand for? Okay, here.
Community Benefits Working Oversight Group.
Okay, I'll give you that. It's Community Benefits Oversight Working Group. Congratulations. What's your name? Tell everyone who's the winner. I know who you are.
Mary Ann.
Okay, Marianne is our third winner for the night. Okay, $25 gift card. Last question before we invite Ilona to help us give away the raffles, okay? So the last question, this is a knowledge-based question, okay? What is, how many documents did we approve at the beginning of this meeting? How many documents? Oh my goodness. Okay, I got someone here. 1 second. You said 2? Wrong. Okay. 1, wrong. Wait. 3? What's your name? Connie, congratulations. You're correct. 3 documents, right? One that's focused on conflict resolution, mutual accountability, right? So there were 3 specific. If you looked in your catch the flavor, you'll have seen all 3 documents. So thank you. Okay. Okay. Ilona, can you come with the raffle tickets?
Ishmael has it.
Ishmael has it.
Oh, she has it.
Okay. Come. We're gonna pick the raffles, and you're gonna do it. You're gonna help us, Ilona. I'm gonna invite the co-chairs to each pick one, and Ilona. And then we are going to pass it on to Marlene to conclude our meeting. You ready, Ilona? You're too funny, Ilona. Okay, so Ilona is amazing, and she's going to pick our first winner. You ready, Ilona? Okay.
That's my ticket.
Okay, you ready? Yeah, she's going to do the first one, and then we're going to go this way. Who's the winner? You didn't get one? Oh, no, in registration. Everyone at registration should have got one. Here, I'm going to give you mine. 1 second. Wait. No, I'm not lucky. I never win. She has better luck than I. She has better luck than I do. That's why. Okay? No. 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready? Yes. 4 9 0 1 9 9 5.
Is that yours? That's Ines's? Okay, congratulations, Ines. Okay, so let's leave the 2 winning ones here, just on the speaker. There you go. Congratulations. So there you go. Okay, Ines is lucky today. Okay, Ines, you're ready? You can pick the second one.
I want half.
4901990.
You said the wrong number. Read it again.
4901990. Sometimes some people you got. Yeah, pull again.
Another one.
Yeah, some people have left. And they leave.
Okay. 4901987.
Yes?
Yes, we got a winner.
Congratulations. 4901 987, correct? Thank you so much. And what's your name?
Marta.
Marta, congratulations. Thank you so much. Okay, we got Marlene picking the next one. Marlene. Oh, okay, it's okay. Gotta pass it on. There's one more, that's fine.
Yeah, I know. 2 more.
Okay, go ahead. You ready?
Yeah.
Just pick one and read it out. You ready? Okay, Marlene, you want to read it out for us?
Okay. It is 4901981. Yay!
Congratulations! You're so lucky. Let me read that out again. 4901981, correct? Thank you. Leah, will you do the honor of the last one? Thank you.
You caught me.
And you gotta pick me.
I already know your number. I heard you say it. Okay, it's 4902007.
Okay, introduce yourself, buddy. You can't go here. This is a networking opportunity.
He's not allowed to get a card. You know why?
Why?
I'm so sorry.
No. He's apologizing. Look at that. I see it in his face. He's very apologetic. Introduce yourself, my friend.
My name is Deepak Kiami.
Thank you so much for joining us, brother. Thank you. Okay, that's the final prize. Back to you, Marlene.
Okay, I think that's a wrap tonight. Thank you so much for coming. It's great to see so many people, and frankly, so many people who stayed, which was wonderful. I want to thank my other co-chairs here tonight and the people who organized this event. The ladies who created the food over here, and we'll see them again. To your presenters, a really major thank you to the presenters. They were wonderful with the information they were giving us. If you want more information about your flu shots or COVID boosters, speak to Mershida at the health table at the back. Now listen, people, excuse me for a minute. Listen up for a second. Hey, listen up. We really want you, before you go, we urge you to join the STP and the 4 working tables. We have a long way to go before the Regent Park revitalization is finished. If you want to be involved in your community, if you want to have your voice heard, then join the groups and get involved because it makes an enormous difference. So please join us as soon as you can. And thank you so much. Have a good vacation, people who are getting ready for Christmas. And good night to everybody. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Before we conclude, let's also thank Regent Park Focus. Regent Park Focus, thank you. Thank you for covering this and helping us with the setup. And also a big shout out to Ishmael Mohammed. Thank you, buddy. This would have not been possible without Ishmael organizing a lot of this work behind the scenes. So we owe it to you, Ishmael. Thank you. Okay, good night, everyone. And let's talk to each other. Let's get our conversations going. We're not done yet. Meeting's done. Thank you, Leah.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us on all our social media platforms, and for more information, please check out our website.